to do. And I think that what is interesting about Pertinellis is you really have listened to your customers and to your board. It's changed a lot in the last few years, as we know from before, but that's really exciting because you like to have happy customers and happy cooperative members.
Well, as we always joke, is we never really get the calls that someone came home, they turned on their lights, and the lights came on. Maybe that might have happened in 1940. Today, we get the call that my power is out, how soon are you going to get it, or my bill is too high, how can I, those are the calls that we're getting. And so if we can engage, and especially using something like community solar, engage the consumer on how do you use energy, what's the wisest way to use energy. As we look at this, different rate options, we're looking at time of use rates coming at the end of the year. And so how you play that all together is actually what provides the best solutions to the consumers.
So I'm hearing a definition of community solar that has some things in common with regard to how it's apportioned and distributed to multiple users. But it sounds like there's also a little distinction in what community solar ends up meaning, depending on whether it's being handled by a utility cooperative or a private venture, especially like what Joey on the phone is talking about, because you're talking about more of a speculative private venture with more of a fixed rate type of situation. So if I understand that correctly, Joey, would it be mischaracterizing it to say that part of the benefit of the speculative nature is that as cost changes, there's something to be realized for the company in terms of cost structure?
Well, we see it. It's an interesting discussion, particularly off of the discussion around the co-op. I mean, when we got into this business, our dream situation would be to create the environment where people trust us like we're the co-op, where our customers are stakeholders, and this is how we communicate it to people. When you participate in our projects, you are the one that's physically pushing the ball forward, giving us the ability to develop more of these projects, and we want to do that on behalf of those people who we feel are stakeholders, and we want to make sure they're happy and and that they participate with us in this venture moving forward. And so, in terms of when you look at the competitive space, nobody likes their retail electricity provider. Very few people. And if you look at the statistics of how often people switch and the misinformation out there, there's a real opportunity to, I think, come in and say, look, we're going to get a community together. We're going to, if for us, we're going to develop only renewable projects for you, and we're going to try to make the cost as low as we can for you. We're in the business of developing projects, so we're doing well that way. We're also, providing opportunities to get that power from point A to point B. So we're not trying to necessarily, come up with schemes to get you on the retail rate, which is, I think what a lot of frustration, what happens in Houston a lot, for example, with all the retail providers out there competing and different programs out there, it's just a lot of information. So we're trying to keep it very, very simple where, again, just if our customers could feel like they're part of a co-op or a community, even though it's within this competitive place, I think we're happy campers at the end of the day, and I think that's sort of what our mission is as a company.
It's really easy. It's really easy in a program-based market to get people to accept based on the cause or based on the principle of what they're doing that there's a higher rate. Don't you face a little bit more of a challenge?
We do.
In a competitive retail market?
We do, and I think it's just one of those times where we say, we're creating a program where if you are inclined to participate and push the ball forward for, the obvious environmental reasons, but also we can lock your rate in for, we're not going to raise your rates if you come in and it's a certain price today. It's going to be the same price 20 years. We're going to pass on those benefits. Of course, it's a tougher sell in terms of what people are used to, being that it's pretty different. But times have changed. Things are more nimble. I think it's ripe for these types of projects in competitive areas, especially as the, co-ops are doing such a good job kind of leading the way and the Austin Energies of the world and CPS. People are, I think, more inclined to participate if they're given kind of given the information in a transparent and fair manner and are part of a movement, so to speak, to take more control of what sorts of energy is produced and what they're purchasing.
Gotcha. So Joey, so we're running out of time here. Can you give us a URL where people can get some more information about your company? Because we're going to go around here with the last round.
Sure. Local sun